Hello and welcome to Miniature Adventures. I'm Big Lee, and today I want to lament the fact that I'm going to have to resort to some one-to-one scale painting. So I'm afraid I'm going to have to do some dreaded DIY around the house. One-to-one scale painting is not nearly as much fun as painting 6mm or 15mm figures. I know that may come as a surprise. However, I live in a fairly old house, built in the 1930s. Everything needs constant maintenance, and like my body, the house seems to age at twice the normal speed of everything else. So over the next couple of weeks I'm going to be doing some decorating and painting my bathroom for about the gazillionth time. The end result of a family that clearly believes water belongs on the outside of the bath. So you know, it needs constant maintenance in there. Damp is my constant bane. And talking of damp, we've also had rain on the inside of the kitchen where it doesn't belong, so we've had to have some repairs done there as well. So long story short, between the wedding a few weeks ago, my daughter's wedding a few weeks ago, and DIY that's going to consume the next few weeks, my work levels have been a little bit lower than normal. However, I do know from bitter experience that water definitely does not belong on the inside of the house. Back in, I think it was 1993, so before my youngest daughter was born, we had a major flood downstairs. A burst pipe but under the concrete, and it caused so much damage. It took months and months of builders in here stripped the entire bottom half of the part of the house was uninhabitable basically for about 4 months to get it all repaired. Cost a small fortune. Fortunately, a lot of it was covered by insurance, but nonetheless highly disruptive. I do not wish to repeat that, so I tend to be straight on it. If I find any damp or water issues, I deal with them straight away. Stitch in time, as the old saying goes. So of course the end result is I'm not going to be painting as much as I want to. Now that's not to say that I'm not doing any painting. I am plugging away, getting on with some more 15mm British from Peter Pig, but small little projects, just little things to keep me going. Because the reality is it's going to be a larger brush than normal for a few weeks. That does sort of beg the question, why am I so hopelessly useless at DIY when I can turn my hand to any modelling project? I'm not the world's best, but I'm quite happy to sit here and fiddle and figure out how to build things, or little modelling projects and so on, and I'll quite happily do that. But when it comes to bringing it up to full scale, it doesn't quite work as much. Partly because I've never had that practice in my life, and I'm quite happy to throw money at a problem rather than deal with it myself. So maybe one of these days I'm just going to have to resort and get a builder in to do certain things instead of trying to do it myself. But here we go. Now the only exception to the DIY rule has been this room. I actually quite enjoyed putting this together and I got on with it, but it does help when you can clear everything out of the way and start from a clean slate. And of course in this room I had a bit of an incentive because I was going to get a room out of it. So this is possibly the only area of the house where I've actively enjoyed doing some DIY because I knew I had a reward at the end. So as I say, I will be getting on with some painting, just small projects, little things. I'll try and put them up on my blog and possibly here on the YouTube channel as well. But I've also got a few trips out planned for the next few weeks as well, weather permitting. It's pouring down today, but hopefully by the weekend we'll have better weather and might have a chance to get out. And of course some games. I've got some solo games that are sort of at the planning stage that I need to do a bit of work on because I want to do some after action reports for them, so it's going to take a little bit more planning than normal. So I'll be interested to hear if you're as hopeless or as miserable about DIY as I am. Are you as much more comfortable at smaller scales with the tools and working things out and so on, or are you a normal bloke and quite happy to do DIY? I'm afraid I definitely don't put myself in the same category as all these people. Like my brother-in-law, he'll build a house from top to bottom and won't bat an eyelid at it. I'd hate that. That sounds like my idea of purgatory. So, are you the same? You know, are you a big DIYer as well as a modeler, or do you keep those two things compartmentalised in your life and you try to do as little DIY as possible? I'd love to hear what your experience is as well. So a very short video this week. As always, please join the conversation. I'd love to hear from you. And if you did enjoy the video, please, as always, like, subscribe and share. So until next week, keep safe, get as many games in as you can, and of course, keep rolling high.